It's time now for our BPU update, brought to you by the Coldwater Board of Public Utilities and the City of Coldwater. We've got Public Works Engineer Joel Parker with us, and today we're going to talk about the outage call management system. And, Joel, what can people expect, and what are you guys doing with this management system?
Well, the idea is, Tim, that we're kind of getting a foundation laid for future improvements as well as to improve what we have right now. So the idea is that we're going from basically let's say that you're our help desk operator after hours. I call in an outage. You've got a piece of paper and a pencil, essentially, and you're trying to keep track of these things. You might be typing them into an Excel spreadsheet. There's a lot of room for error anytime you have a person trying to record all of that, especially if there's a major outage. So what we're trying to do is make use of computers to be able to maybe record 30 simultaneous calls and do those accurately. And that also lets us have a record, and it lets that manpower do thinking instead of record recording, so they can think about how best to restore your power.
Well, and I'm sure that anytime you have a power outage, it's not just one person calling.
That's correct, and that's what we're trying to plan for. The system with pen and paper works all right for a 1 and 2 type outage. We have a tornado come through town, and we have 500 people out. That becomes a real mess. So if we can have, a system similar to what you would experience if you're calling to handle your credit card bill, if we can have that taking the calls, that allows us to have the manpower to actually get your power back on.
All right, and so when is the goal to have this up and running?
Right now, we've got all foundational work done. What we're trying to hammer out, essentially, is what phone number we want to use. If we want to keep an internal phone number, if we want to go with an external phone number, there's debate on which one is best. And then a few phone system tweaks that we're working on internally. I think probably by the end of the summer, we're looking to have this live.
Now, when you talk about the foundation is completed, is that the internal system, the computers that you're going to use, or the programming in your computers that you're going to use?
Correct. So the behind the scenes, the actual system that's going to take the calls, how it's going to route the calls, the kind of prompts it's going to give you, that is pretty much set. It's more of the front end work as far as you as a customer, what you're going to experience as you come into it, what phone number you're going to dial, and how it's going to get into our phone system, which we're currently improving.
Now, will you be sending me information on how this works? We had talked a little bit about pamphlets. Is that what you're going to send out?
That's right. We might do another one of these. We'll contact the press and we'll get the newspaper involved. We'll also be sending out pamphlets with bills. One of those things is that we're going to be pushing really hard to try to get customers to understand that the key to this system working efficiently is for their phone numbers in our record system to be accurate. So ideally, if you call in, the way the system's going to know you are you is by the phone number you have on record. Now, there's cases to take care of that if that's incorrect or you're calling from a different phone number. But ideally, you put your cell phone, your home phone, or whatever it is, and the system automatically knows what address you're calling from.
All right, so I can tie my cell phone to my address, because a lot of people have gone to strictly cell phones.
Correct, and I'm one of those people. So my wife and I, we don't have a landline right now. We each have a cell phone. Our system currently allows for 2 phone numbers to be listed. So you have any of those 2 phone numbers in the system, once this is live, you call in, the system automatically knows who you are. If you're calling from a neighbor's phone, that takes that into account. You can manually get around that, but it works the best if you have an accurate phone number in our system.
What are some of the long-term benefits to this?
Some of the long-term benefits, as well as the immediate benefits, are that we have a record of outages. Right now, it's real easy for those pieces of paper or that Excel spreadsheet to get lost or to not be in correct order, and that makes it hard to know if we're doing better or worse year to year. The computer, it never forgets, and so we can go back last year and see what was our average outage time, how many outages did we have, and what were the causes. And a system like this, it, like I said, never forgets, so we can compare that year to year and see how to improve. As well as the computer automatically does some of the basic thinking for us. So, for instance, your neighborhood's out. The guy on the phone might not make the connection that everyone calling is connected to the same transformer. This system will.
Okay.
This system will point out and say, you know what, you might want to check that transformer because everybody I just got a call from is on that same device.
And then long-term record keeping too. Then you'll be able to say, okay, that device at some point needs change because we've had some interruption of service, whatever time.
System planning. We might be able to do a better job of laying out a circuit if we see that that's failing over and over. And with a system like this, that becomes much more easy to do.
Well, Joel, it sounds like a great system here, something that's coming again towards the end of summer. It'll go live. We'll get information out. We'll talk about it here on our show and, again, all the other media. So if people have questions right at this point in time, should they go to the website? Should they contact you? Or should they kind of wait until all the information is disseminated to them?
The best would probably just to wait, because we're going to try to do as good a job as we can to get that information to them as it becomes available. If they're real curious, they can call our general customer support line. I believe that's 279-9531. You can ask the ladies up front at the desk. I think they have a general understanding, but again, the fine details are being hammered out.
Okay. Talking about the outage call management system with the City of Coldwater and the Coldwater Board of Public Utilities, Public Works Engineer Joel Parker has been our guest. Joel, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Tim.
All right. You're watching Our Community. We got more coming up. Stay with us.